Now back to In the Zone on Sports Radio 1340 WEPM.
Hey, welcome back to In the Zone with Fred and Angela. We are joined now by the head boys basketball coach at Wheeling Park High School, Michael Jebbia. First, Michael, before we get into talking about the specifics of the game and what happened back on Friday night in the sectional championship game, you've got some ties here to Panhandle. Justin Nimelek, I know you said you played senior basketball with him on the 95 team, and then also Amanda Eaton-Burge, who's the head coach at Musselman. So you got some ties here.
Yes, yeah, I know both of them very well. Amanda actually was inducted to our Hall of Fame last year, so I got to see her, and she told me she was coaching out your way. And then, of course, Justin and I were on the 1995 state title team, and it was still one of the games that everybody kind of talks about because it went into triple overtime, and we had starters foul out, and Beckley had starters in, and it ended up 99-96. So Amanda was on a couple title teams with our girls team here, too. So, so some ties in with the Eastern Panhandle.
And I always remember that Beckley Wheeling Park game because Barksdale was sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, he had got the technical the night before, and he sat up behind the bench, so that may help us out a little bit, I guess.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about your ball club. And I've said Martinsburg, the Eastern Panhandle section is very tough with the teams in the section. Any one of the teams can get out and go to the regional tournament. Another tough section is your section. When you look and you've got Wheeling Park, Morgantown, Fairmont Senior in the same region, I mean, that's just a tough region as well.
Yeah. I think if you look at the Martinsburg section and then our region, they're probably the two top because for most of the year, 5 or 6 of those teams in the top 10 throughout the year. So, but, it's the way it's set up. We know that we have to play Morgantown. If we get by our first sectional game, we're going to usually have to play Morgantown on that Friday. And the weird thing is they come up last year and beat us on our home court. And then we go down there this year and beat them on their home court. So, the one thing that has proved well in our section or region is whoever has lost that game between us and Morgantown has still been able to go on to the state tournament the last couple of years. Oh, wow. We obviously had to go to Preston last year, which was very difficult. They hadn't lost at home. And, Fairmont Senior and even East Fairmont, who we have to play tonight home, they're a very dangerous team that can shoot. So, and as well as I do, when you get to this regional finals, everybody's fighting to get to the state tournament, so nobody's going to lay down and nothing's going to be easy. Yeah,
exactly. Anything can happen. Let's talk about that Morgantown game back on Friday night. You win 51-41. Just talk a little bit about the game and what you were happy with, of course, coming out of the win, but what are some other things that went on during the game that you liked?
Well, we're very familiar with them. They beat us the first 2 games and kind of had us, in our heads a little bit, and then we went down and beat the OVAC tournament, so we had a little confidence going into the game Friday. As far as our defense has kind of been set, but we obviously have 2 very good offensive players in Boo Lathan and Ernie Baines, and those guys have kind of been carrying us offensively, but it's kind of been our defense to hold Morgantown to 40 points when we beat them February 14th, and then to come back and hold them to 41. Vondell Bell is a guy for us that doesn't score a whole lot, but he's going to guard the other team's best player. He held Adrian to 3 baskets, 7 points. So we're really pleased with the defense. And, in these games, it's going to come down to the team that executes the most and gets the stops, and we were able to do that Friday.
Coach, last year, of course, getting to the state championship game, losing the way you did on a video replay. I know I was sitting on press row with the headset on with the officials looking at the video replay. I thought you handled it probably better than a lot of coaches would because you were very calm with the decision that was made. And how has that, with the guys you had coming back, you had a lot of players coming back, how has that motivated your season this year?
I just think we've had this little mini chip on our shoulder, and we haven't talked about last year. I thought we could be as good as last year's team, although we lost, O'Neal and Goodwin, who were 2 very good players. We had 3 guys back. And then Emil Poppage being our 6th man. We had Ernie Baines, Vondell Bell, and Boo Lathan, who have played in numerous state tournament games and have been, now 3-year regular guys for us. So, we hit a lull in the middle of the season with some injuries and things. And since that, with 7 seniors, we've been able to win, I think it's 13 out of our last 14. So, the game ended in a bizarre way. What are we going to do about it right now on March the 6th? Not anything. We just got to go play East Fairmont tonight, win, and give ourselves another opportunity. That's all.
Talking with head coach of Wheeling Park High School, Coach Jebbia. Coach, talk to me about Blue Lathan and Aaron Baines and Vondell Bell up here in the Eastern Panhandle. We don't get to hear about those guys a whole lot and your team. What have they been producing for your team this year?
Boo Lathan's our leading scorer. He averages just under 20 points a game, but he averages 11 rebounds a game. And at 6'2", you don't see that. You know, he's a very good jumper, very strong, durable player, about 200 pounds. So he's scored double figures in every game this year except on Friday. Morgantown kind of held him down.
Mm-hmm.
However, Ern Baines goes out and gets 33 points. So, you know, we feel Boo Lathan, with the season he has had, is a viable candidate for Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And Ern Baines might be one of the top athletes in the state. He's going to Southern California to high jump. He's a 7-foot high jumper, wonderful kid, 4.0 student. And these kids are all good friends. Vondell Bell's a super defender, doesn't care if he scores. And the thing I can say about these three guys, you know, if one of them is getting in the limelight one day, they're okay with it. You know, it's just as long as the team wins. They've been playing together since 8th grade at Philadelphia Middle School. So, you know, to be together on the same team for 5 years, you know, just helps us, you know, especially with them being seniors. So they're the three that make us go. And Luke Sassine and Emil Poppage are other starters, role players, do what's best for the team. And a couple guys off the bench have stepped up as well.
Coach, I talked to Ron Kidd a little bit earlier on in this program about the Beckley program. And when I think of high school basketball in the state of West Virginia, the first teams that come to mind for me is Beckley, Wheeling Park, Martinsburg. Those three teams seem to be the top when you look at boys basketball. And I asked Ron about this as far as getting his guys ready year in and year out to go back to the Charleston, because everybody expects you to be there. What have you told your guys about that?
And it's tough because, you know, we're getting ready to play University next week in a game we have to win. And we have to, you know, the kids, we're at a big school, 1,700 kids. They're used to going to the state tournament. They're talking to our guys, hey, when will we play downstate? This, you know, and you just got to keep the guys focused on the task at hand. And I think that helps with having Ern, Vondell, Boo, and other seniors. We've been there before. We have to handle things the right way. And in tournament time, you know, everybody's gunning to knock Beckley, Martinsburg, and Wheeling Park off. You know, that would make a program's season. So, you know, in tonight, East Fairmont's a very capable opponent. They have good shooters. We just have to come out and play the way we're capable of and try to, you know, manage the game we would like to, you know, taking good shots and playing good D. But you're right. There's always a bullseye on our back. And, you know, with the success that we've had, you know, Coach Andy made basketball very important here when the school opened in 1976. And, you know, we're trying to punch our 21st state tournament berth tonight. So basketball's been important here, and it always will be. And, you know, Coach Andy started that, and we've been trying to continue it the last 5-6 years.
You said a couple of times East Fairmont tonight, they shoot the ball well. Is that the one thing that really concerns you about them is the way they get out and shoot? But, I mean, the way your defense has played, not only in the last game, but really throughout the season, when you look at your scores, you haven't given up a lot of points. Is their shooting the one thing that really concerns you?
Well, we just don't want them to get into a rhythm. Castelnova is a very good player, averaging over 20 points a game. A couple other guys are very capable. So we just really don't want them to get them into a rhythm. We want to come out and defend and get a hand up, get the long rebounds, and try to push. You know, although our games have been lower scoring with Morgantown, we just know each other so well. But I think we've held our opponents to 46 points a game for our last 8 wins. You know, we've won 8 in a row. Teams are scoring 46 a game. So if we can keep, you know, East Fairmont in that area, hopefully it gives us a good chance to win.
Head basketball coach Jebbia of Wheeling Park High School. Coach, wish you the best of luck tonight against East Fairmont, and you know, hope to see you in Charleston.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate
us.
it. Hey, Coach Mike Jebbia of Wheeling Park High School. When we come back, we continue with more In the Zone right here on Sports Radio 1340 WEPM. Stay tuned.